Hello, once again, welcome to another edition of the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast. I am your host, as always, the Mouth of Michigan, Robin Dyke. With me, as always, my co-host, the Merkzone, Mike Merkel.
I'm right here.
And conspicuous once again by her abs. It's been like a month, it feels like, since the brain has been on the show. She's doing, I think, some Easter stuff with your mom today. So she will be back, hopefully, next week. We have so much stuff to go over today, guys. Stevie Y is back in Detroit as the new Red Wings general manager. We have the final edition of the Merkzone Mock Draft Corner, as the draft is next week. We've got the LeBron-Lakers situation. We're talking the Lions' schedule and making our way to early predictions on that, as well as we're talking some WWE Superstar Shakeup. And we have also another announcement possibly at the end of the show that we're going to tease throughout, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Mike, let's just jump right into it. Big news coming out for at least Detroit fans in particular. You know, Steve Yzerman is back. He's the new general manager. He was officially hired and announced as on Friday. Tell me what you're feeling just right off the bat about this, because I think this is one of the few moves that universally every fan in Detroit, every Red Wings fan goes, oh, thank goodness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just that glimmer of hope
right
out in the distance that you're like, wow, maybe this team can turn around.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that he's done with the Lightning the last couple of years has been just phenomenal.
Right.
And I really missed him here.
Yeah.
And before we kind of assumed this could be a thing, as we were talking about it as the podcast even started, episode 1 and 2, we were talking about this.
Sure.
This could be like a possibility, maybe. Now that it's actually here, you're like, wow, now I actually see like the road that they're going to be going on with this guy and everything.
Right. Absolutely.
And what they're about to build, I think is going to be something really special here.
No, I mean, and you look at it, the one thing obviously that is missing from his Lightning's tenure is obviously Stanley Cup championship, right? Where everyone kind of thought, myself included, that Tampa going in, 62 wins, you know what I mean? And they did what also I said was, they could probably tank it and do like the Red Wings did in 96. But point being, the development, the roster turnover that he had in Tampa, the talent acquisition that he had there was phenomenal. I mean, he did some good work here, in that 08 run. He was assistant to the GM or what have you. Ken Holland obviously going to be now like executive vice president, whatever the hell that is. So thanks for being here. You can get paid still, basically. I mean, Give me some sort of timeline here, because one thing I kind of took from his press conference was he stressed it about 4 or 5 times where it's like timeline, right? This is going to take time, right? And he kept saying it over and over, and I thought he's smart because he knows when he came here, people are going to go, oh my gosh, we're going to make the playoffs next year, and this is going to be a whole thing, right? Give me your timeline and give me your thoughts on him kind of being so blunt, like really driving home that topic of it's going to take time. It's not going to happen in one off season.
Yeah, that's something I like from coaches, to give you an honest reason. Like, obviously you want to go up there and you want to go, next season we're going to make a playoff run.
Right.
But realistically, I would say it'll probably take about 2 to 3 years to really get the team together.
Right.
Get some of the bigger contracts like Howard. He's still riding on this last year.
Zetterberg's still there. Franzen's coming off next year. Yeah,
you give all those guys time for all those contracts to get off, and then you get your young guys in. You're drafting 6th this year, which could have been lower, but
that's the wings
winning.
Left.
It's wings left there. All in all, I think it's nice to have like that sight that like, hey, it's gonna take a few years. He's not saying it's gonna happen right away, but at least he's telling us, hey, don't expect it next year.
And that's the thing, right? And I think because as fans, our initial reaction when there's change, right? When something's going bad and then there's change, you're thinking, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, right? It could be a donkey who has gotten hired as the new GM, and everyone would be like, oh, thank goodness Holland's gone, right? But because this is such a grand slam type of hire for them, right, where this could not be a more perfect fit if you tried, right? Like, if we win a Stanley Cup championship within the next 10 years, say, right? Talk about a storybook kind of thing where that's what movies are made of, right? It's him playing here as the captain, winning championships, now building the team and bringing them back to prominence. But for him to be so brutally honest and say, listen, there are some pieces here, and we know there's pieces here. You know, you've got Mantha, you've got Athanasiou, you've got Larkin, you've got individual pieces. You know, Bertuzzi even. You know, Zadina, who's playing in the AHL. You have guys here that you either are anticipating to be cornerstones of your franchise, but you've also got a lot of I don't know. On this roster right now. This is not a good hockey team, folks. Like we need to stress that this is not a good team. Don't let this 10 out of 12 wins at the end of the year fool you. It's not a good hockey team. There's a lot of work to be done, right? You know, the goaltending situation needs to flesh itself out. You need to be able to find consistent scoring. I think they need better defense. Cronwall is one of your best defensemen. He's like 38 years old. It can't be your solution anymore, you know? So there are pieces here, but there is so much more that needs to happen, and getting underneath this rock of the salary cap, as well as really, it's going to be a complete roster turnover, in my opinion. You know, and I think there's going to be a couple tough moves to be made coming up here that I don't know if people are, but I think you got to trust this process. He's done it before with another team, right? Mm-hmm. There's no way he's going to put less effort into here, right? I mean, he mentioned it. He should have won a cup there. They didn't win a cup there. It eats away at him. You can tell just based off of the press conference. But now I'm going to ask you this as a general fan. We have been very vocal about this on the show, where it's extremely hard to watch the Red Wings right now, right? Yeah. Because the future, you don't know where they were going, right? You don't know if they have the right man, and Blashill, you don't know what Holland was doing. Now that Yzerman is here, are you more likely to watch, even though it's going to be a tough watch, but watching with more of a sense of optimism, and it's more palatable for you to see them in this rebuilding mode now that Yzerman is here, because you feel like there's a plan? I
do a tad. I get nervous watching all these games because I really like the Red Wings, and watching them lose sucks. Yeah. But with the sense that you're going to watch it knowing we have a plan in mind, like the Lions, after you have these bad seasons and we get a new coach, and then you watch and you're like, I see the improvement and I see where you're going with it. Right. Watching this team develop it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So I guess in a way I'm excited to start watching them next year, but at the same time I'm like, it's also going to probably take like 2 or 3 years. Right. And so like right off the bat, you're going to not see a lot, and it's going to make everyone really nervous. Right. Exactly. Off the bat. I feel like, like next year, you're going to see the same team early on that you did pretty much this year, and you're going to be like, wow, where's that improvement? But it's going to be like a staggering, like very slow development process. And if you can understand that process, that's going to take a while. For sure. Then like, then I'm cool.
And that's a great point that you make, though, is that you're right. This team is probably going to look quite similar to what it does this year, right? Yeah. You can't just cut 8 players off your team, right, without that. And he even mentioned where he's like, come the opening of free agency, it's not like we're just going to go make a splash signing just to make a splash signing, just so we're a little bit better, right? And I thought I think he covered so many bases so nonchalantly, where he was like, calm down, bear with me, bear with us as an organization. We understand, and we know what you expect, and we expect the same thing, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. Yeah. You know what I mean?
If anything, it gives you like a placeholder that like you at least can have optimism as a fan for like 3 years. Right. Even if it doesn't work out in the long run, and we're still tanking and stuff, and then we have to get a new guy or anything, at least with him here, you get the optimism of watching him for 3 years.
And if you really think that he can evaluate, right, and I think he's proven it in Tampa, right, where he's been able to evaluate talent, I think it's going to change the way we scout, the way we draft. I think that Holland's done a pretty good job, for as much flack as we've given him. I think the past 2 seasons, knowing that this team was not ready to really compete, I think he set up Stevie really well with a couple good picks in Zadina, along with, now you've got a first-round pick, you had 6 already, you have 3 second-round picks this year. So, I mean, you've got some pieces, you've got some assets now that you can really turn into some really good picks to really supplement this team and really get them headed off in the right direction. If they build it right, I mean, it's going to be what we had before, right? Where we'll have a consistent team for 5 to 7 years. That's what you want. It's never going to be 23 years of straight postseason again. I don't think it's ever going to happen again. I'm sorry to say, but if you're able to go through that cycle of cementing yourself and consistently able to develop and evaluate talent the correct way, will be set up for success long term. You know what I mean? And that's at the end of the day, that's where you want to be, right? So extremely excited, extremely grateful to have Stevie back. I mean, I really couldn't be happier about it. It's one of the few moves here in Detroit sports where it's like oh, thank goodness he actually came. It's over. There's no more speculation. Let's go. Pedal to the metal. Let's go right away. Now we're gonna shift away now from hockey. Let's go right in now to the final edition of the Merkzone mock draft. I am so sad to see it go. We've had a ton of fun with this. I mean, for me...
Definitely our best idea that we've started here.
Oh, absolutely, right? I mean, if every podcast hasn't started doing it by now, then you're just stupid at this point. But in all honesty, though, I mean, these are great for us. We'll probably do it if time allows. We may have some quick hitter stuff coming your way for maybe a full mock draft going for us.
Cool.
Right before the draft times come. But with that being said, let's go. Let's just jump right into it. Give me who this is from, if you have the website available to you.
I'm using the Walter Payton one that we use almost every week. I find it very reliable, and it was updated on the 19th.
Oh, okay. So it was
yesterday of this recording, so
right.
Friday night it was
fantastic.
Updated. So
you're not going to get much more unless a trade happens between now and Thursday. You're not really going to know. So I mean, this is pretty much what all the rumors coming out here.
I went through and I think I counted about 25 of like the big that I thought were like the big guys.
Okay.
And I actually have a couple things from this draft that I want to ask questions on.
For sure.
But we're just going to start off right off the back. There are no trades in this one, by the way.
Okay.
So we're just going straight off like usual. So Arizona and the Niners, we're just going to take that off the bat. They pick Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa.
Right.
Sounds like that's going to be what it is. Number 3, though, the Jets will take...
Quinnen Williams?
Yes, they will take Quinnen Williams.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Just quick sidebar. I saw a mock today by some NFL writer where he had Ed Oliver going 3, and Josh Allen fell to 8 for the Lions. Really? And everybody goes, "This is so stupid." Like even Lions fans are like, "There's no way that's happening." But oh my god!
If the Giants are sitting there at 6, there's no way you don't take like Josh Allen.
I mean, you know what I mean? Oh my god!
Or it's a tough.
Or Tampa, or anybody at that point. Like he's a top 3. But it's just funny. I was just like, really? He lasts to 8? I mean, you can get our king's ransom for that guy.
So number 4, the Raiders pick.
They're gonna take Josh Allen, right?
Yeah, they do take Josh Allen.
I was saying. I mean, unless this is also that same mock draft.
No, it's not. And number 5, the Bucks will pick
Devin White.
They do not.
No?
Even though that is a very talked about pick, they actually pick Ed Oliver here.
Oh, okay. Wow, really? See, some people, they look at Ed Oliver and they go, yep, top 10 talent. Other people look at Ed Oliver and go, he's too small. He's not going to be able to do what he did at Houston. He's a bottom half of the first, early second pick. So there's a lot of differing opinions on him. I'm in the first camp, clearly.
Yeah, I'm in the top 10 camp.
Yeah, too. But I mean, that's 5 is, man, you must really think he's a stud. But
if you think any of these guys drop out of the top 5, besides maybe Ed Oliver, but maybe you had like Devin White or whoever in there, who do you think has the biggest chance to drop out of the top 5 for you? If there's any, like you think
Devin White, I think could, and the reason why I say that is if a team like Detroit, if we stay at 8 and we don't take Devin White, right? I look at Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo's going to go middle linebacker. Denver's not going to go middle linebacker. So there's a lot of teams in the teens where you have a lot of quarterback needy teams that could possibly be trying to wait it out, saying maybe we don't need to trade up to get the quarterback that we want. So, and then you get into the situation where, okay, who do I like better, Devin White or Devin Bush, right? Yeah. At the value, it's basically it's the Reuben Foster, Jared Davis argument all over again. I was totally in the Reuben Foster camp. Clearly, I didn't know how big of a jerk he was, but at the time, right? That's all stuff that they have to weigh. So I think Devin White is a guy where, not even for any particular reason, it's just because you play linebacker, right? It may not be, depending on the depth and on the defensive side of the ball in this draft, is extremely deep. Yeah. So you may not need to reach for that and go get somebody else.
Yeah, I agree with that. Number 6, the Giants do not go quarterback here. And that might shock people. There's word out there that they trust in Eli and they're going to ride with him this year. So they have no reason to take a quarterback, is what this one says. And they will go Rashawn Gary at number 6.
Okay, go ahead. Take him. Yeah. So stupid. Like, I mean, here's the thing. Tell me after we go to Lions pick who they pick at 17, because they pick a quarterback anyway.
No, they don't.
Oh, they don't. Okay, because it says like if you like a quarterback at 17, you must like him at 6.
They pick a quarterback in the second round.
Then what's the? Okay, that's so stupid to me, but all right.
Whatever. So the Jags at number 7, very talked about. Jawan Taylor, pretty consensus pick for most people. That's where he's going to go.
Right.
Number 8, I feel like this one's very interesting for the Lions pick.
Oh boy.
I don't think I've ever brought him up before.
No?
No.
Is it Jonah Williams?
Nope.
Okay, it's not an offensive lineman then?
There was a draft where I saw him trade down and pick Jonah Williams.
Yeah.
But it's not Jonah Williams.
Okay.
They actually pick Brian Burns.
Really?
Florida State.
So that's a lot of people. A lot of people really like Brian Burns, right? He's athletic, he's lengthy, good production at Boston College. But I think that at 8, for me, it's tough. Like even with Montez Sweat too, I'm not going to necessarily be mad about it, right? But at the same time, I feel like, man, if you really could drop back into the teens. No, I'm pretty sure one of those guys would probably be there.
No, I would love a Brian Burns at 13 or
right. It's like if they flip with Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Atlanta goes and gets whoever they want, right?
Yeah.
Greedy, whoever. They flip with Atlanta. They're able to pick up an additional third, maybe an additional 2, depending on what the compensation chart looks like.
Yeah.
Right. Then for me, I'm like, okay, and I've heard this too, where there's a possibility of them going if they trade 8 to Atlanta for 14 and Atlanta's second round pick. And then we give them our 3rd round pick this year. Would you like that better than a 1st and 3rd and 4th? So we trade them 8 and our 3rd round.
Because I don't want to get rid of that pick though.
So we would have 2 second round picks instead of 1 second round pick and 1 3rd round pick. So you still have the same amount of picks, but you're picking 2 guys in the second round rather than a guy in the second and the guy at the end of the 3rd.
I mean, to me personally, I guess it doesn't. I would like the 2 seconds because obviously you get better value from the seconds.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't think it's a huge because we also lose a pick in that though. You said right?
No. So we're trading our 8 and then our 3rd round, right?
Yeah.
And then they trade us 14. And so it's 2 for 2. So we still would have the same amount of picks. We're basically just swapping our 3rd for a 2. I would probably be okay with that just because you're moving up. I mean, the bottom half of the 3rd round anyway is a 4th round pick.
Yeah.
So, whatever. All right, let's continue.
So Brian Burns goes to the Lions. Yeah. Some other notable names. So we'll have Devin White going to Denver at 10.
Really? So they don't go quarterback. That's kind of surprising there.
Drew Lock is picked by the Bengals at 11. Okay. And actually getting later into this draft, this is where it gets very interesting about some of this draft stuff. T.J. Hawkinson goes to the Packers at 12. But in my opinion, don't you think a Noah Fant would be better suited as a Packer?
Absolutely.
Than T.J. Hawkinson?
For sure, yeah. Because
of their vertical offensive scheme?
Well, I mean, you look at it too, I get it. Everyone thinks that Hawkinson is more of a complete player. But, in the Lions' point of view, right, I would see them maybe preferring Hawkinson because he's a better run blocker, right, than Fant is. But Fant fits better in a Kansas City type of offense, right, where he goes and he's not lined up inside. He's in the slot, right? He's off or in that bunch
he's
formation.
Like a wide receiver.
Exactly. So for me, I'm with you, right? But I think with the failure that Jimmy Graham has been since he got there, right? Because he was terrible last year. I think that Hawkinson would kind of fill that role, and I would expect to see Jimmy Graham get cut there. They have some flexibility, Green Bay does, because they have 2 first-round picks. So they can kind of go best player available because that defense is terrible. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? You need a lot of pieces for Green Bay. More than people, I think, are really thinking about just because they have Rodgers there.
Yeah. So at 20, Devin Bush goes to the Steelers. It's been a Herbert pick.
That's a Steeler pick right there. Good Lord.
Marquise Brown goes to the Ravens. DK Metcalf dropped a little bit. Goes to the Colts at 26.
That's a great pick for them, though. Especially if Funchess doesn't work out. I mean, luck to that.
Because you got T.Y. on one side, you got him on the other.
And with Funchess, too, that wide receiving core goes from being okay to, wow, really good, really quickly.
And then Noah Fant goes to 27 to the Raiders. He's there.
That's a great pick. But that's a Jared Cook. Jared Cook is what he is. That makes tons of sense.
Here's, I think, the most controversial part of this entire draft. There's one guy that we haven't mentioned at all.
Okay. That's
Dwayne
surprising.
Haskins.
Okay.
He's going to 30 to the Packers.
Really?
And the reason being is they think that there's been scouts out there saying that there's something they don't like about him.
Yeah.
And he's almost going to have a Rodgers thing where he's going to drop. Because when the Giants don't take him,
there's nobody else.
Because Cincinnati, because I feel like there's a thing where once you have an idea, you like Drew Lock, you're gonna be like, all right, how do we build around Drew Lock?
Right.
Because you like Drew Lock and his system or whatever. And so all these guys, like the Bengals, and Miami or whoever who have their guy, or Daniel Jones, the Washington or whatever, they all have their guy.
Right.
So they're like, all right, how are we gonna, like Daniel Jones? How are we gonna build around him?
Right.
So they're not gonna go pick Dwayne Haskins if he's there because they don't know like what he is really.
Right.
I feel like you're gonna start dropping, and then Packers go, you kind of might need a replacement soon.
Right. Here's what's crazy about that though, right? Is that if they did that, it's very similar to what they did with Rodgers,
exactly,
right? Where they just said that we have Favre, we know we have Favre, but he's not going to be around forever.
Exactly.
So the only reason why that would completely knock my socks off, right, is the contract that he just signed.
Yeah.
Rodgers' contract, right? So now you have and I get why you take him in the first round, especially if you have 2 picks because you have the 5th-year option, right, with that. But with them taking that, that means to tell me that 2 things. One, that they're not happy, right, that they're looking that, okay, Rodgers maybe won't be here for the life of that contract, number 1. Or 2, that there's more to this, and they think that they can fix it, right, because LaFleur is the offensive thing, right? Yeah. If I'm the Giants, and I think that, especially because you're telling me that they take one in the second round, but even if I didn't know that, if you're the Giants, Eli Manning does not last 3 more years.
No.
Eli Manning, I don't think lasts 2 more years.
And maybe there's even a thing where maybe they like Tua Tagovailoa so much that they want him next year, and that's their guy next year or something.
Well, that's the thing. What if you go 6-10?
Exactly.
Right? And now you're not the first overall pick.
Yeah.
So whoever's the first overall pick next year, unless it's a team, even I would like to say like Arizona this year who they drafted a quarterback, but they're going to take a quarterback again.
Yeah.
So if you're that bad, right, say the Raiders are just god-awful this year and Derek Carr sucks the big one, they're probably going to take Tua. Yeah. Right? Screw Derek Carr, right? Yeah. If we suck in 2 years from now and we have a top 5 pick, I'm guessing we're going to try to trade up to get Trevor Lawrence, more than likely, because that means Stafford took a dive. Yeah. You know what I mean? So those situations where I'm like, man, you got to commit to the suck at that point if you really want that guy. Yeah. But at the same time, you got to commit to the suck for like a season and then hurry up and rebuild all over again because you're going to screw your quarterback. Yeah. So that's interesting. All right, let's go second round.
I found that very interesting. And your guy, Paris Campbell, goes to the Patriots at 32.
I'm just looking right at the camera right now.
I feel that.
Just be like,
I knew you were going to like that. I was going to skip that right before we started the second round.
Wonder if he's going to be an All-Pro. It's not a big deal.
I think this is the biggest steal of the draft.
Yeah.
The Raiders at pick 35 pick Greedy Williams.
That's a hell of a steal. Right. I'm not in the greedy camp necessarily, just because as a Lions fan at 8, that's not where I want. The corner is the hardest position outside of quarterback to make that adjustment to. So that's too high, but at that value, wow. Yeah. Right. Especially because you're not expecting to win right away.
The Giants take Will Greer in the second round from West Virginia.
West Virginia, right.
The Bills, unfortunately, take your other guy, Irv Smith Jr. at 40, right before we pick.
Yeah.
So now we're picking 43.
All right.
And we pick...
Justin, we're going to go defense again.
No, we actually go offense here.
Oh my gosh.
We pick Dalton Reisner, guard out of Kansas State. They say reason being, with the absence of TJ, they think that he's the best available guard at the time. Mm-hmm. So they're just picking best available offensive lineman basically here.
I'm not necessarily... I'm glad it's an offensive player, number one. But with that being said, there's just so much skill position stuff that you need, right? I just feel like you can find a guard in round 4 that can be okay. You know what I mean? I don't need him to be TJ Lang, right? Yeah. You're here to find talent like that where you just think, okay, there's just so much depth.
Packers picked Justin Lane at cornerback right after.
That's where I was thinking they would go, is Justin Lane.
Yeah, 44.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised they didn't go there with the Lions pick.
Patriots late second round go Ryan Finley, quarterback out of NC State.
Yeah, that's a pick that's been mocked to them quite a bit, actually. Mm-hmm. I've seen some people have it at 32 even.
Yeah.
Just once again for that 5th-year option. It wouldn't shock me necessarily. Like they said, they always do it. And Brady's like, dude, I got 6 rings. Yeah, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Exactly. Like you're not gonna. What are you gonna do? And I think Belichick just takes these quarterbacks high just to piss Brady off, so he plays really well.
Probably. I mean, why not?
You know what I mean?
At this point,
it's crazy.
And then, or you could trade him for like a first-round pick.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then knowing full well he can't play. Grapple.
So in the 3rd round, I only have one other notable. So the Falcons take Chase Winovich, Michigan guy. That's pretty good value at 79.
Absolutely.
I would say. And the Lions pick number 88 in the 3rd round. Mm-hmm. They pick Riley Ridley, wide receiver out of Alabama.
See, now that's not terrible. That value in the 3rd round, right? Mm-hmm. If that's where they get him, that's not bad. I'm not necessarily truly upset about that. Just based off of how that breaks down. If Paris Campbell, the golden child of the 2nd round for me, is not there, that's a guy where I think that's really great value.
Yep.
I mean, he's not as good as his brother, but he's not also getting drafted in the first round either.
Exactly.
So I think that's a hell of a value for them. So
and that is our mock draft, our final
mock draft. That was okay. I would give that draft overall. I'd probably give it probably a low B.
Yeah.
In that point. Just
like I wouldn't be mad.
I feel like
I'd
you're reaching a little bit for Burns, and the guard pick. I'm just like, it's like another high on offensive lineman pick. Like, I'm hearing some people thinking that the Lions may go Jonah Williams from Alabama because they may not like Taylor Decker past 2019. I'm going to go on record right now and say I would hate that pick. Mm-hmm. I would hate any offensive lineman pick in the first round. Unless you trade down so far where you picked up an additional 1 and 2 into the 20s, there's no way in hell I'm taking an offensive lineman. Yeah, if you picked up
that Raiders pick where you get like 24 and 27 for the 8th.
Right, yeah, exactly. Then you know what? I'm okay with it because then you can still go get a defensive playmaker then I'm okay. But even then, honestly, I'd rather go offensive skill position then because then you have your pick of probably a Noah Fant, possibly, an Irv Smith Jr., a Paris Campbell, maybe a Metcalf, somebody that can make a difference right away. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think you can mask some deficiencies offensive line wise with your scheme, and what you do, on that side as well. But
overall, I didn't think it was awful.
I didn't think it was bad. I think you addressed 3 needs. Yeah. That's perfect, in my opinion. But at the same time, I don't like reaching for guys. That to me felt more we're going based off of need, not best player available with a mixture of need. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I was at, but. We're going to have plenty of draft coverage, guys, coming up. I mean, the one that actually happens when the first-round pick goes, obviously, we're going to talk in depth about that. I'll actually be at the Lions draft day party on Thursday, so please stay tuned to our Twitter and Instagram pages because I'll be posting a ton of cool pictures and stuff like that. But that's going to be it for part 1 of episode 21. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk about that Lions schedule, give our way too early predictions. We got some Lakers, Magic, LeBron, Pelinka, Deanie Bus situation, stuff like that. We're not talking Pistons this week because we're going to wait till the following week to see if it's even worth mentioning or if they just got swept. Either way, we'll talk Pistons next week. And then we've got WWE Superstar Shakeup. All of that, all great content coming your way right after the break. Stick around.
Hey guys, this is the Mouth of Michigan, Rob Mendyka from the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast. Just reminding you that we are live every single Monday at 7 in the morning on your favorite streaming services. All 5 major sports, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and professional wrestling. I'm Always Right Sports Podcast every Monday, 7 a.m. See you there.
All right, let's welcome back now to part 2 of episode 21. Let's go right into it. Lions schedule, Mike, you've got that all typed out for us, so you're going to map out whether we're right or wrong and everything as we go through the season. But just before we go through win-loss predictions real quick, just give me your initial thoughts, anything that's kind of sticking out to you as far as how the schedule we've obviously known the opponents for a little while, right? But as far as how it breaks down in the season, looking at what the teams have done in the offseason so far, any initial thoughts that screamed out to you? Because I got a couple. I just want to see what you got.
I'm actually not about the ordering of it as per se, but I kind of wish for like just a little bit that we played maybe the Chiefs or Chargers on the road, because I feel like playing them at home, it's almost like I don't know if I'm going to give them a loss. Right. Those are really tough games at home.
Those are must-win games.
At least we're at home for them, you can argue. Right. But at the same time, like if you lose those 2 games at home, then you're
right.
Like
Now
you almost have to win out at home to get that 6-2 low curve, so you can have some buffer on the road.
That's a great thing. A lot of people haven't been talking about that, but that's something.
I think that's really hard. But we also get some like the Giants at home and stuff. So I think the Bucks at home and stuff. So that part of it is kind of nice. Mm-hmm. I think they were nice to our road schedule though, and we only have 1 set of back-to-back away games through the whole season. Right. So. Any other time we go, we either have a home game before or we have a bye before. Right. So we're not hit with I know the Eagles are hit with 3 back-to-backs. Ooh. Like they go away, 3 weeks in a row.
We don't have any real short weeks either for the most part.
No, and that's also, you wanted to talk about, we only have 1 primetime game, but we'll just get right into that right away, I guess. I actually don't like primetime games that much as a fan of one specific team. Mm-hmm. I hate Thursday night games if you're a fan.
God, I hate. I'm so glad we're never on a Thursday night game. We're outside of Thanksgiving, right? But that's tradition.
We're used to it.
But besides that, I am so glad we don't have any Thursday night games because that sucks.
No, it really kills you. Especially, just imagine if we played at the Eagles and then we had to come home in 4 days against the Chiefs early on.
That's
that would be an awful
that's a
low experience. I don't mind Monday night because the week before we have a bye, so we actually just have a longer week into it, and then we play home against the Vikings. So I feel like that's a nice little transition into that.
Right.
But overall, I don't mind the schedule. I think there's a nice break in between hard teams. Like you'll play like the Cowboys, but then you get the Redskins, or you get Vikings on the road, but then you get the Bucks at home.
Right.
So you get like a couple buffer weeks.
Where you got a hard week, and then now we get.
Yeah, you're not looking
back.
at.
If we come off a loss, that's a good way to bounce back.
Usually, our hardest part is Chargers, Eagles, Chiefs early on.
That was my
really
first
tough.
thing, right? Looking at the schedule as it breaks down with Arizona leading off, and then you've got those three right after that. That is a tough right before the break, right? If you almost have to go 2-2.
Yeah, if you can split through that, then you're looking really nice.
If you can beat Arizona at Arizona, right, and steal one of those games at home, right, I think you're okay because I mean that's a tough way. We'll go through win-loss predictions here in a second, but I think that the way that this was made up. At the beginning, you're going to know really quickly this team, right? Unfortunately, it's not going to be like the Patriots where they start off slow and they're able to recover. We don't have that kind of makeup built into this team. So they're going to have to start out okay for us to even have a chance in the back half of the season because the Bears are going to be good, Packers are going to be improved, Minnesota's going to be good. So the division isn't getting any easier necessarily. So you're going to have to, if you drop a game at Chicago, you almost have to, you got to win all your home games against the division this year. And you got to probably hopefully steal one on the road somewhere. Yeah. Whether that it's in Minnesota, I honestly think you got a better chance of now winning at Green Bay than you do winning at Chicago. Because the past 5 years, we go to Chicago, even when we won, we're escaping by the skin of our teeth. Where at least in Green Bay, because you're not playing Green Bay away late in the season.
Yeah, you're going early. This year.
So
right off
it's coming off a bye. That's a game. That's a very winnable game. The Lambeau thing ain't a thing anymore, in my opinion. So I think it's harder to win at Soldier Field now than it is to win at Lambeau.
Yeah.
Let's just go right through it though. Let's go win and loss predictions here. Just give me the team where we're at, or if we're home or.
Okay, so week 1 we start the season at Arizona at 425.
Yeah, that needs to be a win. If they don't win that game, we're looking at 0-4.
Yeah, I'm starting with a win there also.
Yeah.
Week 2 we're home against the Chargers at 1:00. Where are you looking?
Oh God, it's so tough. That is so tough for me. That's home opener though, so I'm gonna say we escape narrowly. You're gonna see an inner homer come out in me. I hate doing these so much because I'm always like, 12-4. So you know what I mean. But being like totally honest, I think that I like the Chargers as a team, but I do think that they're able to kind of squeak by just because it's home opener. If this was any other week, I'd probably say it's a loss. Okay. But home opener, second week of the year, hopefully kind of. I'm anticipating them to get my hopes up and then crush me at the end of the year. I'm going to say win there.
You're going to say win?
Yeah.
I'm going to say loss.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers are probably the best team in that division.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like the Chargers a lot. Don't get me wrong.
And I think it's going to be a really tough one. So I'm going to go loss there. Week 3, we're going at Philadelphia Eagles. Where are you looking at this one?
Yeah, I'm going to say that's probably a loss. To me, the Philadelphia's weird, but they have a really good pass rush. That defense is criminally underrated, and I don't know what our offensive line is going to look like. So I'm going to say that's a loss coming off. You're 2-0. You're probably going to be expected more than likely to win that game, honestly, if you start out the way I think they're going to start out, and that means they'll lose.
Yeah. I'm also gonna go loss. I actually think they're gonna go 1-3 to start. I'll give my
I don't doubt it. I mean, honestly, like I said, there's definitely some inner fandom here. You know
I think it's a 1-3, but it's like a respectable 1-3 where you're looking like you see a lot of upside later in the schedule that can really help you bounce back.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm really having to go with the theory, and I'm having to convince myself they have to go 2-2 to give themselves a chance.
So I'm assuming you go Chiefs loss here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no way. There's no way. I mean, here's the thing. Do I think that they can compete with them, right? Do I think that if you've given them the time to really look at that offense, right? Second year with Mahomes there, is there going to be, I think, a little bit of a drop-off in his numbers? Yep. Absolutely. But they still have weapons. You know what I mean? They're still a very good football team. I'll be interested to see, though, as we kind of go through, we'll go through week-by-week predictions as the season goes on, too. But that defense, though, right now, the Chiefs' defense, that don't look very good.
Oh, no, it's not good.
Yeah. But that offense is just so hard to keep up
scored
with.
like 40 points.
I agree, but you know what I mean? So I'm just like, But yeah, that's a loss.
All right, so we're hitting a bye right after that Chiefs game.
We won the bye.
Yep, I don't count it as a win, but we win it anyway. Week 6, we go at the Packers on a Monday Night Football, so we got an extra day.
No, you need to win that game. That's a win. That's a win. I think you go in. I think you take Packers pound down.
I also do think you win. I don't know. If it was like midway through the season or something where you don't come off a bye, I'd be a little more nervous.
Right.
Off a bye and everything, I think
off a bye, especially the way you're thinking too at 1-3, which is more than likely what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's a desperation team right now.
Yeah.
The Lions would be at that point.
Yeah.
And it's the first. I think you need to win that game.
Yeah.
It's a must-win,
so then you walk into week 7 right after that, home against the Vikings.
I'm gonna say win, but that's a tough win.
Yeah.
I like I said, I have to go with my theories that they have to split at least they got to steal one on the road somewhere. It's probably the Green Bay game, and they gotta win out on the division. They have to.
Yeah. I actually don't think they'll win.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll beat the Vikings once this year, but I do think they go like 3-3 through the division somehow. So I'm gonna give that a loss at home against the Vikings.
Okay.
Home against the Giants.
No, that's a win.
I can't even really argue that. I think it's a win also.
Yeah.
The only reason it would be a loss is Saquon literally goes for 900 yards on us.
No shit.
And our running
Sorry, we
defense...
don't swear on the show, but yeah. Good call.
Week 9 we go at the Raiders.
They got a lot of wins piling up here, don't I?
Yeah, you're looking very optimistic.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. As we're going through this, I'm like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to say it's a win. I'm going to say it's a win, too, right now. At least, like I said, we'll go through this again probably before the season starts after all the acquisitions. But right now, the way I look at it, yeah, it should be a win.
I also go win. I just don't think the Raiders are good enough to beat us right now.
No.
I'd be very nervous if Antonio Brown goes for 400 yards.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's going to be my theory.
That's
like, if Antonio Brown goes for 400, we're going to lose. Yeah. But, besides that, we can win. At the Bears.
That's a loss. Yeah,
that really hurts you to say that.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. I hate losing to the Bears a lot. I almost hate losing to the Bears more than I hate losing to Minnesota, just because, like, Minnesota to me at least, I respect Mike Zimmer, right?
Yeah.
He's a dumbass of a coach, but he's a great defensive mind.
Yeah.
I don't like anything about the Bears. Matt Nagy and his bald head, Trubisky, everything. Can't stand him.
Week 11, we're home against the Cowboys.
I'm going to say this is a loss. I hate to say that. I can't stand it, honestly, but we have not shown the propensity at all to stop Zeke Elliott at all, ever since we've ever played him. So I don't anticipate. And that defense for Dallas is legit.
Yeah.
I mean, look, no kidding. The hell of a defense. Cowboys are going to be a team to look out for this year, guys. I hate saying that. I hate sounding like every other media pundit because Prescott still is terrible, but that defense alone is what's going to carry that football team. It's not the offense.
And this is a funny thing. I think they're actually going to win this one.
Yeah.
Last year they played them close.
I got to put a loss somewhere because right now I haven't beaten the Chargers.
I think them playing the Giants with Saquon.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get a similar
preps them.
Yeah, it's going to prep them and get a similar game plan to what they're going to do.
Only reason why I say not just because I really like the Cowboys defense. Yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence, you still have Sean Lee there. You've got Jalen Smith. Byron Jones, you've got a lot of great pieces.
You got that rookie dude that's really good.
Yes. Vander Esch, too. I mean, you've got a lot of really nice pieces on that. That Dallas defense is legitimately could be top 5 in the league.
I think you're almost looking at NFC Championship team right there. And it's like,
and I mean, Dak Prescott will be the reason why they don't win anything. I'm going to be full front up with you right now. And because they're going to have to pay him and Zeke coming up, that's why they'll never win one. But on paper right now, that Dallas defense especially looks really, really good.
Yep. Week 12, we're going at the Redskins.
No, you got to bounce back with a win there. You cannot afford. I mean, honestly, it's going to be very tough for me to say you can afford back-to-back losses here because I mean, even with my
yours should be 3 in a row.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going to say they got to win here.
Yeah, I'm going to say they win here. I just don't think Redskins are good right now.
So no, I think they're in the same boat. I don't play quarterback for them right now. I mean, that alone. I mean,
I look at Redskins like 4 or 5-11, and the Giants are like 4-12.
I think Redskins are a team next year, especially if Alex Smith can't come back, makes that splash trade and goes get Tua.
Yeah,
I think they'd be desperate enough to go do it, sell the soul.
All right, Bears. How we looking? At home, Thanksgiving on a short week.
Man.
I'll throw my prediction.
Yeah.
I think they lose this one, but this is one I could switch later. Because if you're playing the Redskins, realistically, it should be an easier win. And then coming home, I'm
gonna say they win, but barely.
Okay.
Like it's only because Thanksgiving, they're used to it. I think they need to get that back. So
week 14, right after Thanksgiving, on a longer week, you go at Minnesota.
No, you're losing that game.
You losing that one?
Yeah, you're losing that game. I get the longer week, but I think if you squeak one out at home against them, I think they just eat you alive at Minnesota.
Yeah. I will have them winning this one, shockingly enough.
So
I think on a long week,
Yeah.
you get some extra time to prepare for them.
Whatever reason, man, we can't figure out the Vikings defense. I don't know what it is, dude. We just can't.
But usually it's low scoring,
Yeah,
and if
that's
we
true.
get a lucky couple ones, I guess it'll come down to how we play around that time. Maybe we switch.
Right. If we're 1-13 or 1-12 or whatever, then obviously we ain't winning that game. But
Yeah.
clearly, I mean,
home against the Bucks.
that's a win. That's a win.
Okay, I also have that as a win. The Bucks are the Bucks.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Famous James.
At Denver.
That's a loss. Yeah, it's not. I don't. That defense is still good. It's not great, right? You're at Denver, right? You're not used to that kind of conditions. You're outside. It's December. It's just it's a recipe for disaster.
I actually have them winning.
Yeah.
Just because I think their run game is going to help out a lot,
You think
and
so?
I don't think that the
I hope so.
I don't think that Denver offense is.
Right. No, the Denver offense ain't gonna be.
And that
very
defense
good.
is good, but to a certain extent, where if you just hold the ball for a while and you can get a lot of 3 and outs,
I think it's a very winnable game.
It's low scoring. You'll win by
I look at it like
something.
I look at it like going into Green Bay late in the season, right? It's just so much tougher to win there.
And home against the Packers.
All right. So what am I at right now? Win-loss total.
You were looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're looking at 9-6.
Nine.
I'm also 9-6.
What's weird? How the heck is that?
That was the most wild thing I haven't looked at.
I'm gonna say they win. I'm gonna say because guess what? At the end of the day, this team needs that win, right? I'm tired of losing the Packers in the last game of the season when it actually means something. They better win this freaking game. They sweep the Packers again.
Yep.
I'm calling it right now.
I think they win too.
I'm calling their shot and they squeak in as a wild card at 10-6 because NFC is still gonna be stacked this year. So. I think it's weird how I thought I had way more wins than you did. It felt like we did for whatever reason, and that's crazy how we kind of got there.
We literally have the exact same on different ones.
That's crazy.
I kid you not. That is the funniest thing that's ever happened here.
Because
we did not play that at all. That
was weird. Yeah, because we're totally on different sides of the spectrum going early on in the season. So, but you have them making a hell of a comeback. I think it's more for my own, heart purposes that I just feel like they're more consistent throughout the year than you do. So I'm like hoping that I'm not like just pissed off for a month at a time. But that's crazy though.
Yeah, I have them ending very strong. You have
starting really strong.
You have right after that bye. You have a 4-game win streak, and I have a 4-game win streak at the end of the season.
That's awesome. We're such homers. It's bad.
Realistically, they're gonna be at 7.
I know,
but like.
It's 10-6, damn it. Still otherwise happens. Alright, that's awesome. Let's save that. We'll come back to that as we go along here. That's good stuff. I'm crying over here. Alright, let's talk some NBA. We're not talking Pistons right now. As of this recording, they're probably down 3-0, more than likely. Maybe 2-1 if we're lucky. But so I mean we're not gonna talk about them until after either the series happens or their season as a whole. But let's talk this Lakers thing. I promised it last week. I want to talk about it just because it's the biggest news in the NBA. Magic resigns. LeBron's nowhere to be found. Pelinka's still there. Bus doesn't know what the hell's going on. Mike, I'm gonna scrap some of this that I have typed out here on our show sheet for a second. Just give me your thoughts. What the hell's going on, dude? Because I know we always defer to Mike. Mike's a big LeBron fan. I am not, but he is. So he gives an honest opinion of his guy, which I can appreciate, which is why we talk about him here on the show. He's the best player to play since Michael Jordan. So I mean, you have to talk about it when it comes to his team and stuff like that. So give me what you're thinking here. What the hell's going on with them? It's a dumpster fire.
It's a dumpster fire. It's a rough time. I have like
I can't believe it.
I have a weird conspiracy theory that he went to LA for this first year. He planned to go here instead of anywhere else because he didn't want to make the playoffs this year, and he wanted like stuff to blow up in LA. I have like a weird it's like a weird really long theory that I'm getting
to a LA fan and they're like screw you.
Yeah, I know, so but like it's like weird because I think like you could have stayed in the East and probably won the East the next 4 years if you really wanted to, and you could have made another 4 finals if you really wanted to. But I think he went to LA and he almost knew it was going to be a dumpster fire, and he almost like created it to be a dumpster fire from the beginning.
Good, yeah.
Like starting the season, you were the 4th seed. I think once he got injured, he was like, he might have like a scapegoat after he got injured. Yeah. It might have been like the best thing that happened because the season was about to fall apart right below him. Yeah, Magic getting out of there was very shocking to me. At first, I was like, wow, but he didn't do much, and he ruined the team. Luke Walton, I hate Luke Walton as a coach, so he's fine leaving. Yeah. He's going to go to Sacramento or whatever, and He's probably going to be good there.
I know. Here's my question, though, right? Here's what I want to ask you, because two things. Number one, did LeBron make a mistake going to LA? And two, right? Actually, I have three questions now that I'm thinking about it. Two, right? Are you going to be okay with them hiring Ty Lue as coach? Because I will flip a lid if they do. They're going to meet with him. They're going to hire him. It's going to be stupid. And three, does he win a championship in LA?
First answer, I don't think he made a mistake.
Just strictly basketball, not business or anything, not the brand. Just strictly basketball and being able to win another championship. Yeah. Did he make a mistake going here?
Probably, yeah. I think you could have went to almost any other team.
Went to San Antonio.
If you go to San Antonio, you're in the conference finals this year.
Popovich, it would have been stupid.
If you go to like the Sixers, who's rumored, if you go to Boston or something, all those teams.
Anywhere else he would have gone, they'd probably be facing Golden State or beating Golden State.
Yeah. If you go to Houston or something, that was like a low rumored thing. But if you had Chris Paul, James Harden and stuff, you're like there. Yeah. It's not even a question. You're in the finals.
You're winning.
So I think you made a mistake basketball wise going there. I get why he went there for all the other stuff he's going to be doing. But basketball wise, yeah, he made a mistake. What was your second question?
So the second question is, how are you going to feel when they hire Ty Lue? Because I think it's the stupidest thing ever.
I think it's a terrible move. And here's why I say that, though, is I don't think him coaching would be a bad idea, but it's almost like LeBron choosing the coach. And if you see LeBron choosing coach, players are going to be like, so it's LeBron's team, I don't want to go there.
Right. I think that doesn't hurt him.
It hurts
being able to get anybody else.
Yeah, no, because if you're like Kawhi Leonard and you're like,
he ain't going there.
You're not even being like the top guy or anything, but you want all the decisions coming from like the front office. Like you want you wanted people like Magic to be like,
that's why
this is the guy I want. Yep. Like Magic saying this is the guy I want. Right. LeBron's like, hey, I really want Ty Lue here, and that's why Ty Lue comes in.
And the reasoning behind it too is I want to go because he's coached me before, because he's going to step out of the way and let me coach the team, right? Yeah. I mean that's the problem too, right?
Yeah.
It's the style. It's that message, right?
That's the one thing, and that's, I guess, leads into the third point. I don't think they'll get anybody if Ty Lue's there, because everyone's going to go, so it's Ty Lue and LeBron's team. I have no input as a star to do what I want. Like, if Kawhi goes there, he should have not equal, but almost as much input as what goes on as LeBron does.
That's why he's going to go to the Clippers, where they have Jerry West, they have the infrastructure, they have Doc Rivers, right? It's Jerry West is making the decisions. Doc Rivers is no longer president, so you're going to coach the team I give you, and you're going to do what you need to do. That's why they're pushing Golden State the way they are.
And with the Lakers blowing up like this, Kawhi Leonard doesn't like being in the spotlight, and the Clippers are going to be in no spotlight in LA.
No one's going to. They're just going to quietly be good.
Yeah, they're going to quietly make conference championships, and no one's even going to know about it.
Right.
The Spurs had Greg Popovich and stuff, so they were talked about way too much. He was like, I don't want to go here. He went to Toronto. Now Toronto's amazing, and now everyone's like, wow, Toronto can make conference final. You're putting a lot of pressure on Kawhi. He doesn't like that. He's just going to be in the Clippers. It's still going to be the Rockets, OKC, Warriors thing. Yeah. And Kawhi's just be like, I'm in the conference
probably
finals.
The Knicks, too, added to a certain point. That's what I mean, not in the same conference, but you know what I mean.
And then Kawhi's just going to be sitting there like, I'm in the conference finals every other year, but no one's going to say anything.
I mean, so you don't think he wins another championship in LA then, the way it's going right now? Like, as the state of the franchise is right now, I mean, there's so many things that have to do right in the next, 6 months.
Here's the thing is, I think if you're talking about prime time LeBron, I think they could with the roster they have developed right now. But the problem is he's older, so he needs
that's what I'm saying. Right now, I don't think he can carry a team anymore by himself. I think the last 2 years in Cleveland took it out of him. I can't do it.
Could I say right now he could beat 3 or 4 playoff teams with the team he has? Yes. The problem is he can't get any farther than that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Totally.
Could he beat OKC? No. And could he beat Portland? No. Houston? No. Warriors? No. Right. Probably Spurs? No. Everyone right now. I think everyone else you have a good to decent chance of beating.
Yeah, for sure.
But
that's what I'm saying though, is that I think that this team constructed right now can win playoff series. Absolutely. They can beat the Pistons. Yeah. They can beat the Pistons easily, I think. They can beat them in 5. So
in the East, they beat everybody but maybe Milwaukee or Toronto.
Right. Now. But that's what I'm saying. So I think that they can I think that the way it's set up right now, there's just too much work, and his clock is going too quick. Yeah. You know what I mean? And because you are LeBron James, and the expectation is championship or nothing, right? It's tough. You know what I mean? So there's just so much to go into. It's just they're not going to get anybody.
I do think though that
the
second year though it's going to be a big thing because this is his first year not in the playoffs since 2005. Mm-hmm. So he's going to have a whole off season.
The coach is going to depend a lot on that, right? I thought the Knicks did a great. That's why the Knicks are going to be good next year. If Durant and Kyrie go to the Knicks, right, with Fizdale as their coach, they're going to be good, really fast, really fast.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
With that. projected number 1 overall pick.
Right. Even if they
knowing
don't,
their odds.
I like David
5.
Fizdale as a coach, right? I wish the Pistons would have hired him, to be honest with you, because I think he's a fantastic coach. So he turned Memphis around, and Memphis is hot garbage. So I think that with that comment, you know what I mean, though? LeBron's never had a coach. Right?
No,
LeBron has never had a good coach, but at the same time, he's had the choice and the option, though, to be able to go get a coach, right? And if he would have been smart, he would say, you know what? It's not about LA, and I get why you go there from a business perspective, but if I'm LeBron and I say, I'm going to sign a 3-year deal, I'm going to go with Greg Popovich, I'm going to go with Murray, I'm going to go with whoever the young guys we have, get the little bit left of overage that I have left out of him before his knees go, and I'm going to go win a championship, and I'm going to cement my legacy and just be done with it, right? Because look what I can do with my Phil Jackson.
Yeah. I think
it would have
been phenomenal, but I get he's just kind of
right. Like I said, I get it. It's just frustrating.
He's on the building brand stage.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. All right, let's take it. We're gonna take another quick break here before we hit the Superstar Shakeup. We kind of went long on this LeBron topic, so we're gonna give us one more break here, guys. You're gonna hear probably from myself, maybe from the Merkzone, maybe from the Brain, maybe from somebody else. I don't know who you're gonna hear from, but you're gonna hear from somebody real quick, and then we're gonna go right back with Superstar Shakeup. So stick around.
Hey guys, this is Emily the Brain, just popping in to remind you, in case we haven't said it enough yet, that we are now live on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and a ton of other streaming services. So anywhere you find your usual podcast, you should be able to find us. Please check it out and give it a listen.
All right, guys, welcome back to our final segment. We may have an announcement coming here at the end of the show, too. We're going to talk the Superstar Shakeup going on in the WWE, both Raw and SmackDown, similar to the draft, right? But it's not
even close.
Yeah. I want to ask you, though, just off the bat, before we actually go into the moves, do you like the draft or the Superstar Shakeup better?
I love the draft.
I did too.
But no, listen, if they did the Superstar Shakeup right,
yeah,
I would probably like it better.
Yeah.
Like, if you just had a thing where, like, say, like, you know how they had, like, the posts or whatever, and Shane was on one side, Stephanie was the other, and they were, like, drafting their team or whatever, or blah, 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 whatever was going on during the draft episode. If they did the Superstar Shakeup like that, and they're like, I'll trade you the heavy machinery for these 3 people or whatever, and they're like, I accept, and then that's how they got traded, like in a live show that was an hour long. I would like that so much better than just, oh, McIntyre's just on SmackDown.
Yeah, right.
Or he's moved.
Right. Yeah.
Like I would like a more actual looking. Trading.
I got you.
Like, I want to know what they got.
I almost wish, too, there would be some
stupid.
bartering where, like, if they're all technically able to move, right? Any of them are able to move. So they're all free agents, technically, right? That, like, I would like to see something where Shane or Stephanie or whoever's like, no, you should come to Raw. And he's like, no, screw you, I'm going to SmackDown. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or something like that, where there's some more power in the player, quote unquote, than there is with the, you know what I mean?
Well, I want to know how much SmackDown had to give up to get Roman Reigns.
I know, right? That's crazy.
Like, is he only worth like AJ Styles, or is he worth like 6 tag teams? Like,
I don't know.
What is he worth? Like, that's the stuff I'm like interested in. I don't even know why.
Yeah,
I feel like
Like, what's the equivalency? You know what's funny? I was listening to a wrestling podcast. I listened to Something to Wrestle with podcast with Bruce Pritchard, which they don't pay us to sponsor them, but it's a fantastic podcast. So if you're interested in that, please listen. But he talked about that, where they literally do mock drafts. That's what they do. Like, before they used to do the drafts, they would say, what if this happened? And they would like, here, let's do one where we just randomly draw people and see what happens. And we have rosters. So it's crazy when you think about, how much time and effort is put into some of these guys. But let's go with the most shocking roster move for you. Was it Roman? Was it AJ? Was it somebody else? Was it a combination of guys? Most shocking move that they moved, because I'm going to start off by saying, too, I really like what they did. I think I'm more of a fan of it than you were as far as some of the moves. I was really impressed, actually, with who moved where and why, and I'll go into that a little bit as we go through this, but I was really happy with that just to kind of go off. But give me a shocking move for you, and what did you think of this shakeup, the way they did it? Because they did it last year, and it was just meh for me. So this year I thought was a lot better.
Well, I thought there were a lot less call-ups this year. It was just more people moving.
It was the one thing I would have changed, but besides that, I was really happy with it.
Yeah, it was just like a lot of just like people move, but not like I think only like 3 people got brought up or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh God, the Viking experience.
Yeah. That's the thing.
I just
they
laughed
were
when I
weird to
heard
get
that.
called up too because I was like, they're the tag champs right now. Like, you couldn't have brought up any other tag team. Like, really?
You know what the
Like,
best part was? They got new shirts that say War Raiders on them that they just
I
put
know.
on the shop.
And they're immediately on
And
sale.
then they're immediately like they came on sale on Monday that they debuted.
Yeah.
And then I was like, they're not.
What's funny is like when he was saying his name was Ivar, I'm like, is it Igor? Is it Ivar?
No, he said it different every single time.
I know, and I was like, what is
He
happening?
was like, it's Ivor, and then like during the match,
I'm
he
like
said
evil.
Ivor.
I'm like, you can't go evil. There's another guy already named Evil. It was very confusing, but
Anywho,
yeah.
okay.
Besides that, good lord.
I'm not shocked. I guess the most shocking thing was Roman moving. Actually, Finn moving too. Like the champion, because
I
it
was
was.
shocked by AJ moving too. I'm not gonna lie. When I first
Well,
I was like, oh, all right.
The only reason I wasn't shocked because he did so much on SmackDown.
Right.
That like, there's nothing more for him.
More
to
of a
do on
pleasant
SmackDown.
surprise where I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
like some heavy hitters.
Well,
actually moving
you
this year.
you see the potential like him Seth matches
Yeah, of
that they could
course.
have, and that's like awesome.
Mhm.
I thought it was funny though because Joe wasn't on Raw, but he was supposed to be, but he's like sick or
Yeah,
whatever.
right. So they moved the Intercontinental title over, and I'm like,
and I was
wait, they got
I was like,
both?
So now they got 3, but the 3-hour show only has a Universal title.
I know, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Every report, I'm sure they're like, no, seriously, Joe's gonna be on Raw. Don't freak
Yeah,
out.
but
It's
please
okay.
don't flip
He's
out.
got the U.S. title. It's fine.
So I guess I'll go biggest shock was probably Roman going because I
Yeah.
didn't actually really expect that. I like that they moved him. Wasn't really expecting it. I love Buddy Murphy going to SmackDown.
Fantastic.
Oh my god,
I
him
know.
and Ali and him and literally everybody on the
Everybody,
card is
really.
gonna
He's-
put on a good match.
That's a guy that is gonna.
and
skyrocket.
Cedric on Raw, like vice versa. is
Buddy, I
also-
think, has a higher ceiling than Cedric does because I think
Yeah.
Buddy overall, his look, I think, is a little bit better than Cedric's. But I think Buddy Murphy on SmackDown, I think him and Finn, if they give Finn some opportunity to wrestle like Finn Balor, not like the prototype, I'm gonna do 4 moves, Finn Balor.
Yeah. Give him like Demon Balor that actually does like 6 moves instead of
Yeah.
4.
I mean, it'd be fantastic. I think too. I really like the Roman move. Right, we talked about it off air, where you're getting him away from Seth Rollins. You're letting Seth really carry the brand, and you're also allowing the Shield topics to be dropped. Right, and we can just take a breath from the Shield stuff for Raw. Dean's going away. I know that, but. It's just nice to be able to go, all right, we don't need always to talk about the Shield every 15 seconds, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to talk, we've never talked about any other faction more than the Shield, it feels like, in the past 5 years. So I'm glad that I was extremely happy to see the Usos move to Raw because they've been killing it for so long on SmackDown. It's about time they got their
I think
spotlight.
The only thing I didn't like about that move is I think it really depleted, and you just saw how bad the SmackDown division is in that tag team division.
For sure. Absolutely.
Because when they moved, you're like, wait, who's actually going to fight for the tag championships now?
Right.
Like, there's not really
when they put the
many
titles
guys.
on the Hardys, and I was like, okay, there's going to be some mishmash of tag teams coming up.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. That's why I thought maybe the call-ups would have happened on SmackDown rather than Raw.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they're going to bring up a tag team or a couple guys or something. And they didn't really do that.
Because they
I was
put
like,
Ricochet and Alistair and the Viking Experience or whatever
Raw.
on Raw.
Right.
But they moved Heavy Machinery to SmackDown. But that was it.
Yeah.
So
that's not
you're
a good
gonna have
trade.
3 tag teams on SmackDown and 8 of them on Raw.
Right. I think they want to boost that Raw tag team division a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're not the best tag team in the world right now, bar none. I think is the Usos. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. I don't think there's a better tag team right now going. They're better than the Revival. That you can at me all you want, but they're a better tag team than the
WWE,
Revival.
absolutely.
Yeah. Name a better tag team in any kind of promotion now. I think Evil and Sonata are fantastic. I like the Usos.
I love
better.
the Lucha Bros.
Yeah, I mean
great.
they're pretty good too, I guess. But
Or the Bucks, I guess. They're just the prototype.
But
best,
I don't
know
know.
if
They haven't. Yeah, but I think the Usos have been done phenomenal work for the past 2 years.
Absolutely.
So, but the Usos and you probably know this is coming. I love the fact that Andrade got moved too. I am such an Andrade fan that I am so happy he got the win over Finn there. Not knowing that Finn was going to move at the time, I was like, okay. Really happy he got the win there. I think. He, along with Mysterio moving, that needs to be either a prominent duo as a tag team or as a faction, or that needs to be a feud, and they need to get the U.S. title off of Joe, because that dude can go. I mean, and if you don't know who he is, he was La Sombra in Mexico and Japan. Him and Shinsuke made magic together several years ago now. Guy's phenomenal, so I was really happy to see that. And AJ moving, obviously, it's about time. Who flourishes more? Give me one guy who is going to benefit them, or girl, I guess, too, who benefits the most from moving from one to another. It doesn't matter what side to wear. Just give me one person or tag team, right, who is going to benefit the most from going from SmackDown to Raw, Raw to SmackDown, if there's one that you can pinpoint. right? Because
I will go the Usos because I think they're going to get a very long run as Raw Tag Champs.
yes, I think the magic with them and the Revival too.
Yeah, that's going to be good stuff. And with
Really
all the
good.
teams, they're going to fight like
Really
the
good.
Viking team, whatever, I don't even know
Yeah.
what they're called. The Viking team, and then they're going to get Alistair and Ricochet, and you just have feud after feud after feud with that
Yeah.
team. So I think they're going to have like quite a long run with the Raw Tag titles.
Yeah.
I would say Roman on SmackDown because he's going to be the lead guy there.
Yeah.
So he's always going to be in the WWE title picture
Of
now
course, absolutely.
for the next year now.
I took Roman out of my thought process when I was thinking about this, just because I'm like, he's a top guy. So wherever he goes,
Yeah.
right? Like AJ's gonna flourish fine
Yeah.
on Raw.
But now, like,
regardless.
I also thought though that if Roman say on Raw, I don't
Yeah.
think he's in that picture,
Right.
but he's like looking in almost.
well, it's almost
because
he takes away a little bit from Seth too, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of, it's a power struggle.
Yeah,
You know?
but like Rollins is like he's gonna be feuding with guys like maybe even Andrade, but he's gonna be like McIntyre
that needs to
and
happen,
all
right?
those guys that he's gonna be feuding with. That Roman would be like almost like a side view. Like we could push Roman in there,
Right.
but he's not gonna be doing that, so he wouldn't be doing much on SmackDown. He's gonna be the prominent
The guy.
guy.
Him and Daniel Bryan, I feel like, can make some really
Yeah.
cool stuff happen.
I love
like,
their match at the Fastlane in
Yes.
2013, probably
right.
or whatever
I
it was.
think that Kofi thrown in there, right? You got Finn, who I think you can now elevate to that title picture.
Yeah.
I think that is the guy for me is Finn, even though he's the Intercontinental Champion right now, right? That
Yeah.
needs to be taken
Well, I
off
think,
sooner rather than later.
I was gonna say Finn could have a couple good feuds with the
Right.
mid-carders,
Right.
and then jump up to that major picture.
That's what I'm saying. I think that you, with him being on SmackDown, I think you're going to give Finn the opportunity to really flourish as a worker, right?
Yeah.
As a, like, everyone's already kind of behind him. They know his history. They know the backstory, right? But being able to really prominently elevate him, especially with Kofi as champion, it opens up every possibility of the book, right?
Yeah.
Roman as champion, where you've got, Finn versus Roman, I get it, right? But Kofi versus Finn, you're like, oh, all right, Finn's got a legit shot here, right? Where if Roman is champion, okay, like Roman's going to be champion within the year. I can almost guarantee it, right? So with that being said, you open up a lot more possibilities for a guy like Finn who has been pushing up against that ceiling for so long. You know what I mean? Only guy I was surprised that didn't move was Drew. I was almost thinking, knowing that I think that they're going to go Drew or Seth going forward, but I was a little surprised they didn't move Drew, just because I felt like Drew at SmackDown could have dominated.
Yeah.
Like, could have totally could have came in, beat Kofi right away, and would have just dominated for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
agree
mean?
with that.
Because I think they're going to give Seth a run. So, and I think Drew deserves the run with the championship as the top heel.
Yeah.
Another guy too was Lashley. I thought they could have split one of those two guys off.
I
the
don't
other
want
show.
Lashley on SmackDown because then he'd just be fighting Finn again.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Good point. Yeah. But
what was the least lackluster guy to move? Like he moved and you were like, wow, like who was like that guy for you? I have one. I just thought of
Ray for me was one thing. I didn't.
Ray?
Yeah, the Ray. I'm glad the Miz moved. Honestly,
Really?
Yeah.
Miz was my guy.
Really?
I was like, I feel like they're just not gonna do anything with him on Raw.
No, I don't think they will. I wasn't surprised that the
No,
Miz.
I
moved,
was just like,
you know.
I was like on SmackDown at least he could have a match with Finn or something and whatever. But on Raw, I mean,
he's gonna be eaten alive.
yeah, he's not gonna be doing much.
But that's
for
the
3 hours.
problem. That's the
not
thing
doing
too.
much.
He's slowly but surely transitioning too. He's got the show on E.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's marketable on his own. But I thought Ray. Honestly, this whole run by Ray. What are you gonna say about it? You know what I mean?
His like 6 matches with Andrade.
That was the only. That's what I'm saying, though, right? So that's the only thing. That's the only reason why you bring him over. You know. So to me, he needs to be a catalyst to put guys over to make guys the best they can be. You know what I mean? Right now, I mean the Joe match at Mania. I get time short, but there's nobody in the right mind thought Ray was walking out with the title that night. You know what I mean? So.
You like the Mysterio outfit though?
Yeah, that was cool. That was really
I
cool.
like
That
Pops.
was yeah, and then he got beaten in 10 seconds. You know,
Yeah,
so it's
it's
just kind of
cool.
like I thought Ray for me was one. Another person who I'm actually really happy to see go to SmackDown was Bayley. I actually liked
Yeah.
SmackDown's haul really like a lot. Like I really thought that some of the guys that they picked up, right? I thought Raw, because Raw was going to take more, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just based off of that. But SmackDown getting, with the women's tag division is going to be
Kyrie
stacked.
Sane's there now,
It's going to
yeah.
be stacked on SmackDown, where the Raw men's tag is going to be stacked on Raw. There,
Yeah.
I bet the women's tag titles are going to be heavily featured on SmackDown. I think that's kind of why it's kind of like this on the men's
Probably.
side, but the women's side it's like this. You know what I mean?
They're kind of like giving SmackDown almost the brand. Like,
Yes.
hey, women, you're going to be like a
it's-
SmackDown
right.
exclusive almost.
For sure. Give me this too. Last thing before our announcement. better roster?
Okay, are we going better like you'd rather watch? Like if you can only watch one show?
Yeah,
or
if you can only watch one show, right, for their allotted time, who you liking, right? So you got to include the 3-hour portion, too, of it, too.
I would say I think Raw's going to do better stuff.
Yeah.
So I would go Raw, but I do, some of my more favorite wrestlers are on SmackDown, I think.
Right.
But I would say I think Raw stuff long term, if they do Seth, Drew McIntyre, if they do AJ stuff with like Seth or whatever, I guess the catalyst is Seth. I'm a big Seth fan, so I guess like with that stuff,
he is the champ.
If Andrade steals the U.S. title and he makes a run with it, or
Joe
something,
moving to Raw is going to be big too.
Like, Joe can get in that picture too. So I think Raw has a lot of like ideas and stuff. Their tag division, I love tag team wrestling, and the Usos probably going to carry in that division is going to be awesome to watch. So I think I'm going to be more of a Raw guy, but SmackDown definitely won't disappoint. But I'll go Raw.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be on the SmackDown side. For a couple reasons. One, I'm interested to see where they go with the Kofi situation with Roman being there now. Elias is over there now, right? So, I mean, it's going to give Elias, I think, some time to really do some in-ring work finally. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see the arch of Finn as well. I think that you'll see Finn within as long as he stays on SmackDown, he will be world champion again, if I had to guess. The only criticism I think I would have is I wish more NXT people would have been brought up on SmackDown. I felt like there was a great opportunity. You had some holes you could have filled there, where I thought like the era coming up there would have been perfect.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think the only problem, and after you see what they did with the shakeup,
right,
is there is nobody in NXT right now.
No, you're right.
And
you're
if Undisputed Era was not NXT, I think NXT almost falls off a cliff.
Yeah.
With their talent level, because they really don't have much there right now developed. So I think Undisputed Era, maybe to our liking, is going to be running NXT for like the next year, and then get called up when like more guys come in. But as of right now, they can't afford to lose them.
For sure, absolutely. I'm just talking strictly just from main roster, like what I'm like. Oh man, this is like.
If NXT wasn't a thing though, like Undisputed Era definitely should have been brought up and be on SmackDown. They could be that stable to run it, but they need to run NXT right now, and that's the only.
I'm also pretty happy too, just as an off-go. I'm happy Bayley moved over to SmackDown. She got booed heavily when she came out, which I was a little shocked by. I was like, damn. But at the same time, I think this is going to give her an opportunity if they want to actually flip her and turn her heel. Now is the time to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think you could, where she just goes complete otherwise.
Maybe that's why the things aren't filling up now, because like they're.
I think she could do it almost like she doesn't come out with music. You know what I mean? Like she just walks out and she's a total a-hole to everybody all the time. You know what I mean? Like from happy joy to like don't touch me and I think they could.
How about let's just give her some Nia Jax music?
Yeah, that makes no freaking sense.
I love Nia Jax.
I feel bad for her though. Shout out to Nia though. Double knee surgery coming out there. She's gonna be out for a while. That sucks. Like way terrible. But all right, last thing before we go, we have a big announcement here. The very first I'm Always Right interview is going to be happening here more than likely in a few weeks. I'm not going to give you exact times yet because we haven't nailed it down yet. But the owner of a local wrestling promotion here, MCPW, Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling, is going to be on with us for you guys for about the first half of one of our episodes coming up here in the next few weeks. His name is, I'm going to hold that till next week because I don't want to, we're going to tease it slowly but surely. He was on The Amazing Race, if you were watching that show before. His name is Mike. Just give you that, so maybe you can find him on Twitter, look him up, I don't know. But he's going to be on the show with us. He's going to be talking, it's not this Mike. No. But we're going to be talking to him about MCPW, what they're doing, how they're doing. They're here in Michigan. They have a big show coming up here next month. They got Joey Ryan and Scott Steiner coming in, so two bigger names on the independent scene. If you're not a fan of those guys, take a look at their work. Scott Steiner, you should know. If you watch wrestling, you should know who Scott Steiner is, regardless. But so that's going to be coming out for you guys. It's the very first I'm Always Right interview. If you are interested in being a guest on the show to promote your product, your brand, please contact us.
Or to even argue with us about stupid stuff.
Or to even argue, right. Yeah, if you listen to a show and you just think I'm a complete idiot, please let us know. We'll have you on the show. Please email us at iarbroadcastmedia@gmail.com or put a comment in our YouTube page. Put a comment here on our SoundCloud. Let us know through email. Hit us up on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle, Mike?
Just Mike Merkel.
At Mike Merkel, and mine's at Rob Mendyka. We're linked to the show, or our Twitter handle for the show is at I'm Always Right I'm Always Right PC.
Yeah.
Our Instagram, Facebook. Let us know. We want you on the show.
Yeah.
If you are a local Michigan brand, we want to promote you. It's free. All we want, you guys share our stuff, we share your stuff. We are all in this together. We're all trying to make our products the best they can be. Once again, our email is iarbroadcastmedia@gmail.com. For the Merkzone,
Yes.
I am the Mouth of Michigan. For the absent brain, we will see you guys, as always, next time.